Sports Now. I went along with my old friend John Krasinski. You do that when you haven't talked to an old friend in a long time. John Hooper, SoCon John, is now my old friend. And he joins us every Monday at 1:30, and he's a soccer guy as well. Boy, Hank Williams Jr. really taking on the chin here. I'm an Oiler man, not a soccer man. The Oilers are now in Tennessee, and soccer has totally taken off. That old song, Texas Women, if you remember that one. Hey, I know you are, you do follow and cover soccer, so let me ask you, SoCon John Hooper, your take on the USWNT. Mine is that I do think that they have become polarizing. I think they've become distinctly American in fighting for what they believe in, yes, but I do wonder when you're throwing away so many profanities towards Donald Trump, which I know a lot of people would like to duplicate them with. That's why their fans were chanting them. But at the same time, it's going to turn off half the country, especially conservative East Tennessee. And I just was curious, I mean, do you think that they're basically pigeonholing women's soccer in the future to have a very liberal culture, much like the NBA has?
Well, the only way I can answer what you're saying is, could you imagine England being a soccer country as it is, making the semifinals in both the men's and women's World Cup? Could you imagine the star player for the men's team, Harry Kane, or star player for the women's team, Ellen White, saying what Megan Rapinoe did about our president, about the Queen of England?
I don't think the Sex Pistols said what the USMWT did to the president, to the Queen. If you remember that "God Save the Queen" song, if you remember that one.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a play on the national anthem, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. God save the Queen, the fascist regime. Yes. Anyway, so that's my. You know that I'm an old.
England shut that down pretty quickly. As far as I know, it's like they wouldn't let them have public concerts and stuff like that. So, it was a big public outcry there. So, I'm not sure what message that's in. We're trying to set examples for younger, women and men.
Yeah. Like I said, I like so much of what the USWNT is doing. In fact of the matter, it's 2019, and if you are a gay athlete, I don't think you should have to cower in fear over who you are, and certainly USWNT did not, and I really applaud that. I say, you wouldn't have in the porno industry when the women make more than the men because they bring it in. You wouldn't have that in the United States. Why should we have it in pro sports, for crying out loud? And, think about that for a second right there. But here you go. So I applaud. They bring in more money than the men. Yes, they should be paid more than the men if that is the case. But then you go into this thing where it's almost like you have to be a hardcore agreement with them on everything political, and you're just not going to be able to do that. And that is the risk of mixing sports with politics. They always have, but that's the risk. And I just wonder if they're sectioning their fan base here.
My question is, that's true, but let's look at basketball.
I think the NBA does it.
Well, okay, so I guess it's the FIBA championships or whatever they play for basketball. Do those men get paid as much to compete in basketball as women do?
No, but they brought in, well, here's what I would say. I mean, there's the flip side of the coin. It's what money you bring in. I'm a salesman. I bring in $1 million. I'm going to be paid more, I would hope, than somebody who brings in 1,000. And so you've got to look at that. But, and in the case of basketball...
It's not just the United States. I mean, you're looking at other countries. Germany's women probably don't get paid as much as their men's team. And that's fine.
No, yeah. I mean, if they don't bring it in, that's the thing. Now, I mean, look, if the Lady Vols down in Tennessee started bringing in more money than what the men's basketball team does, pay Kelly Harper more than Rick Barnes. I have no problem with that whatsoever if that is what is going on. Right now, I don't think that's the case. That's the
Right now, the problem is FIFA. It's not the women's.
True.
Not the USA.
No, and I would agree with that. See, this is one of the things I think that this is a stand that I really applaud the women's team for doing. But at the same time, they do it in a way where it like thumbs their nose and goes, "Nyeh," to anyone who doesn't agree with every single one of their political beliefs. Look, you don't have to go to the White House if you don't want to. You don't like the president. That's America. Okay? I may not agree. I defend your right to do it, though. Absolutely.
Joe Anderson in Anderson, South Carolina doesn't need to know about it if you don't want to go to the White House.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but here's the thing that I just would look at is that it has become so polarizing that if you are the conservative East Tennessean, it may be difficult to really say when you have a daughter, oh yes, it's okay for you to play soccer. That's the thing that they've made this so political. Not that I disagree with some of their stances, but where they become insulting. When they become insulting, that's when it is, and it becomes, I don't want to embrace them, and all this.
I still haven't understand what Donald Trump has to do with the American flag. Like, I haven't made that relationship yet.
I just wonder, like I said, you don't have to come out to the White House if you don't want to, but I just wonder why it is so active that they feel that they must, take this stance against the president, what it is against them, when, frankly, I feel that they're polarizing their fan base when there's so much that we could embrace and really champion of what they're doing right, both on the pitch and off of it. The examples that I gave before. Yeah, but the examples I gave before, equal pay or superior pay if you're bringing in more, or
I agree with that. I just don't think they should be blaming the U.S. Soccer Federation. They should be blaming FIFA mostly for that because they have a lot to do with how much the World Cup players get paid.
That is a very good point. That's a good point. All right. Hey, this is the sort of stuff that we don't shy away from on Tri-City Sports Now that the other sports shows in the market do. But now we're going to talk some SoCon when we come back. SoCon John Hooper after this.